We got another edition of Mail Call here for Mr. Carl Jocumsen. What does that say, man? Is that like top secret?
This is top secret stuff.
Documents and clothes.
This is when you know things are about to get good.
What?
Shimano Australia.
So you're a Shimano pro?
Yep. Since I was 15.
No kidding.
So I didn't know what this was, and now I kind of know what it is. I'm pretty excited.
Whoa.
The brand new Curado 200 XG and straight 200. Probably the greatest reel, baitcaster reel you can get for the money. This thing is ridiculous for the money. I don't know how they sell any other reel.
How much are they?
In America, they're $179.
How much are they in Australia?
I don't know, but more than that, I think probably maybe $2.99.
Wow.
Double the price. So this thing is just sexy. Super light, unbelievably smooth. Cast a mile. I've only had one that I got to play with for a whole day, and the thing was the most impressive reel that I've ever actually used. I've got the Accents and I've got, you know, a lot of the different Shimanos, but I just love promoting a great reel that everybody can afford. And when I was 15, I sold a bike that I saved up for and bought a Calais.
Wow.
So
that's big time in at 15.
And I was at 15 and I had a Calais with braid on it. I was balling. And yeah, so that back then I think that thing was like $500, that reel. And
yeah,
I didn't
it was
have
absurd.
any money, but I saved up and I sold stuff, and I used one that a good friend of mine now, Tim Morgan, had when I was fishing a tournament as a co-angler, and he gave me a few casts with it, and I was like, okay, I'm doing whatever I can to get a Calais. But these $179, like, oh my god, that is an amazing looking reel, super light, just smooth, casts a mile and does everything that you want it to do. The XG should be the, just checking what 8.5 to 1, so
that's fast.
yeah, super fast. So
like
you can use it
Accents.
for flipping.
Okay.
Like it's a great flipping reel, and then you can use it for jerk baits. It's light enough, free floating spool to be able to do that, to cast light lures. And then I've got the straight 200, which I'll end up using probably as my cranking reel. And
Okay. Give us a little breakdown on like
6.2.
the difference between using an 8 to 1 versus a 6 to 1, because like, you know, when we were 15, there were no 8 to 1s.
No,
there were no 7 to 1s.
Impossible, yeah.
6 2 to 1 was fast.
Yeah.
Because I remember, because my first really good reel was a Curado B, like a 200,
Yeah.
the green ones, the
Yeah.
OG ones.
And they were the great Curados, and I had one of them for years, and I'd beat it up, and it just kept going, and that's what this has kind of come back to.
So is
But
this good
for
for cranking?
No. Well, the 8, not the 8.5 to 1.
Okay.
So you want, unless you're shallow cranking, or, you know, a few guys explain it a few different ways, and I have a few, you know, different ways of explaining it. But the more drag the lure has, so if the lure has a big bib, so cranking, deep cranking, if it has a lot of drag and you have to use the reel to bring that lure through the water, and it's got any kind of drag on it, you want a low ratio. So you want a 6.2 is even getting up there. I like the 5.5 or 5.1. So it's going to have the lower cranking, and you're going to be able to wind like this, and it's going to pull the lure through without making you work. And then,
Is that how you got those guns though?
yeah, so I got these. You need them, and then but for flipping, you want to flip in, and you want to get that lure back as fast as you can. So you want to get it out of there, take up line, and flip it back. And also, when you set the hook, you want that when they're running out fast, you want to have a fast reel to catch up to them. So you want 8.5, you know, as fast a reel as you can, so you can take that line up. And then also for jig fishing, you're casting out and you're dragging that jig with the rod, and then you're using the reel to take the line up. So when you get that bite and you set the hook, that reel's going to take up the line while you're fighting the fish and not allow it to get any slack line. And there's a lot of different ways. And then the swim baiting, you know, you want a slower reel, heavier, you know, you got a super heavy swim bait, but you want it kind of in between, because when you set that hook, you don't want to be winding as fast as you can to try and keep a good bend in the rod. But those big fish have a lot of weight, so you want that low down crank to be able to crank, you know, get the torque on them and crank on them. And then another big one is that I use it for, and a lot of guys don't look at, is I learnt it from me and my cousin Matty Langford fishing a couple of years ago on cod back home. They wanted it slow. They wanted a spinnerbait as slow as you could wind. I had a 7.2 to 1. He had a 5.5 to 1, and he whooped me bad on cod. And we were using the same Bassman spinnerbait, the same everything, and he kept getting bites. And I couldn't wind slow enough with a 7.2
to maintain a rhythm, yeah.
I thought I was winding slow, but I'm not. Where he's winding slow and it's creeping it, and that's enough to get a bite. So if I know they want it slow, no matter what I'm throwing, I'll put a slow ratio reel on to make me wind slow. So that's a big one. Like, don't think, and I do it all the time with like a speed worm or something like that. I realise, oh, they want it ticked. I'm not going to use a 7 to 1 and wind like this. I'm going to use a 5 to 1 and wind like this and slow myself down. Then the reel's doing a lot of the work for you. So sometimes, you know, just putting a slower reel on when you need to slow down is super important. But I've got these two, and they're going to be loaded up, and they're going to get some serious work throughout the next year. I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry.
What kind of line do you usually spool that up with?
I'll probably put braid on 2 of them, and I'll put fluorocarbon on 2. So the 2 fast ones, I'll put braid on, and I'll put a braid leader, and I'll probably use them for flipping and for frogging. Like a great reel for frogging is an 8.5 to 1. Massive long cast. Fish hits it in the end of the cast. You want a good hook set, and then you want a fast reel to keep up on them and keep that rod bent, keep the torque on them, and keep the hooks in. And then on a huge cast, sometimes only the first 5 feet is productive, and you want to crank it in. So you want to be able to take up that line, get it in, and put a huge cast out. So I'll have 50-pound Power Pro on one, 65-pound Power Pro on the other. Cranking reel will have 12-pound Gamma fluorocarbon straight through, and the other one will probably have 15. I'll either go one way or the other. I'll go 10-pound, use the jerkbait, lipless crankbait reel, or I'll put 16 on it and use it for like a spinnerbait, chatterbait, and just an all-round reel. When you put 16 on it, you can just like use it for anything. So that's the Curado 200.
So that's a standard.
That's the standard. And then they've got 3. They've got a 5, I think it's 5.1, and then this one's a 6.2, and then the 8.5 to 1. So, beautiful reel, and a package that I love seeing in the mail.
Yeah, how many you get total?
4.
And how many setups do you normally keep in your boat?
So I usually have about 30 total. In my
Some
boat
would call that
time.
excessive. How would you respond to that?
I say it's not enough. There's some of my outfits right now. Some of my boat is totally cleaned out, and I've got some organising to do. But every single one of those outfits is precisely rigged with the exact reel, the exact ratio, the exact line, right down to very, very small things. So it looks like a bit of a mess right now, but when I get ready for the year, it takes a couple of days to spool and set those reels precisely for what I'm rolling into.
Because you literally have to be ready for any scenario.
Yeah, and you have to have it all on you, and we'll be on the road for 4 or 5 months at a time, and you need everything in the truck, you need everything in the boat, and at the drop of a hat, things can change. So you need to be ready to run back to the truck and practice and get your frog rod, or get something that you haven't got in the boat. So that was cool. Kayla's got a little package that's pretty cool that would like to. I don't know too much about it, but we've just been following them for the last few months.
Love Your Melon.
It's called Love Your Melon, and it's a group that has started from some young guys, some young college guys.
It's California State University in Northridge, and it's all 50% of everything. All their profits go to cancer research for children.
And putting beanies and stuff on young cancer patients that are going through
for every hat
chemo
they sell,
or going
a kid gets a hat.
Get everyone they sell, a kid gets a hat, and so we went and got a couple, and we're going to promote it on our social media and hopefully get more people to support it.
That's awesome.
So Kayla got hers and I didn't get mine. I'm going to have to wait. Kayla got
yours is coming next week.
Yeah, I got the dark one coming. So it's really cool.
Little beanie.
That's a sweet looking beanie.
Yeah, they're real nice. Put a lot of work into it. It's cool that college kids are doing something to make such a difference in the world.
Positive vibes.
So it says, join the story. You have a chance to be part of the influencer program. Make a difference in the lives of children facing incredibly difficult times. The influencer program is an exclusive group of individuals who have a large social presence and are determined to improve the lives of children battling cancer. The purpose of the influencer program is to raise awareness for childhood cancer while supporting Love Your Melon's mission to fight against pediatric cancer. If you'd like to help bring smiles to children battling cancer all over America by attending Love Your Melon, give events and hosting Superheroes Adventure, contact and join their influencer program. So we got on board, and that looks cool, babe. Looks good, and
you're comfy.
You know, we got touched by a young fella that Mikey that battled cancer, and I got to take him fishing, and there's a very cool story behind it. And that one day of fishing, I think, well, we know, saved his life. It gave him something to live for. It gave him something to be excited about. And now he's cancer-free and full head of hair and loving life. And we're about to give him a really cool fishing trip for him beating cancer, kicking its butt. So this is a cool program that I hope will get behind kids like Mikey, and they are getting behind millions of kids that are battling. And I think it's just really cool.
Yeah, go Mikey.
Yeah, it's a cool little package.
Very nice. Any last conclusions?
Rippy.
Do you love your melon, Roo?
Here it is.
You gotta rip the logo.
There we go.
Roo. Wrap it.
Yeah, girl.
Get it, girl. It's like Erica Badu and a dog.